Hey, welcome back to a special episode on the channel. This is the 1 year anniversary of the startup we got going on January 15th of 2024. So been a good year since then. Picked up about 1,700 subscribers and published 48 long form videos. So I'm happy with that. Heck of a lot better than I was expecting going in. So that's always good. So just a quick reintroduction of myself if you're new here. I'm Matt. I'm an urban planner by education, but for the past 5 years I've been doing contracting work and got started by myself, and then my dad, Dave, started working with me about 2.5 years ago. He's the other guy you see in the videos all the time, and we make a pretty good crew. We get along pretty well most of the time. Family dynamics a little bit interesting. So whether you've been watching from the start or if this is maybe your first video, we're happy you're here and we hope you stick around. If you're not a subscriber, we'd love to have you following along with us. We got a lot more to come over this coming year and hopefully many years to come. So we are going to do a bit of a recap of the last year in this video. So that'll be really helpful if you're new. Hit some of the fun things that we've done and interesting moments, and maybe a little tip or trick here or there. So you can see behind me here one of our projects, an alley house and a garage, and it's actually been in our last couple of videos where we've been doing siding work. A lot more to come here, but as we've worked on projects like this, and then I got into doing this professionally, I would watch other people putting out videos of great quality, low quality, everything in between. And I was watching some of these and thinking I could do at least as good as some of these videos, but I kept putting it off. I wasn't really comfortable on camera, didn't like hearing my own voice. I think that's a pretty common thing. But summer of 2023 finally got the kick to start recording. We were getting into some really interesting projects, and then it took a while longer to actually put a verse video together. But it was a day kind of like this, although a little colder. I was sitting, we weren't able to work, and I just finally decided we're going to do this. So put the first video together. If you watched that, you know it was maybe not the greatest production ever, but it kind of gave me the kick to get things going, and hopefully things have been improving since. But I have kept up with it, and turns out I actually really enjoy it, and it's even more enjoyable when people watch the videos. But no matter how many people do or don't watch, I'm having fun putting it together, and it is a fun documentation of the things we do, at the very least. If you watched the very first video on the channel, you know that I originally started this with the idea that it was basically going to be following the rebuild of this little sad shack that I have, and as you can see, we haven't gotten terribly far yet, but not going to be doing any progress at the moment because we have 8 inches of snow on the ground. Hopefully we can get back to it sometime this year, 2025. We'll see. Got a lot of other stuff to do. This is a side project basically, and it's good to be busy with other stuff. You've seen everything we've been working on, and we have plenty more already to do. So we'll see. It doesn't look pretty as a structure, but everything looks prettier in snow, in my opinion. So we shall see. But for now, it's not really getting any worse, not getting any better. It's kind of in a state of suspended animation. In addition to the regular carpentry related content that you're used to seeing on the channel, we're going to be doing a couple kitchens and bathrooms. So the alley house, of course, needs a kitchen, but we're also going to do the kitchen in my own house. I've been planning and looking forward to that for years and years and years, and that's going to be an exciting project to tackle later this year, and definitely looking forward to showing you the process there. And I should add here, I own that lot, caddy corner across the street where the 2 shipping containers are sitting, and that is a future project for both me and YouTube. I don't know when. It's out a ways, but that will be a multifamily mixed-use building on that lot at some to-be-determined date. But right now we store a few things over there and keep it mowed and looking nice. And the apartment building next door is going to be re-renovated this coming year. The financing just closed, but looks like it's probably slowed down a little bit by the snow as well. And you can see a couple new construction houses over there and more to come, and some building renovations right next to those. So a lot of activity. So with that said, a year in now, hopefully many more years to come, and hopefully more growth and more improvement on the video quality. Like I said, I think it's come a long way, but there's still plenty ways to go as far as that is concerned. But it's a continual process. When you start from knowing nothing about video production, you have to figure it out as you go. So that has been half the fun of it, really, figuring out, thinking about the story as we go while we're recording, and then how it all comes together, cutting out what's not important, figuring out little editing tricks within the software and what it can do. Still small now, but further along than I expected, honestly. So maybe within a couple more years we'll be up with the big boys, or maybe not. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to keep doing it either way. With that little recap, just gonna run through some of the highlights of the past year's worth of videos. So see some of the fun stuff we did, some of the weird stuff we did, some of the kind of bonkers stuff we did, and then look forward to another exciting year and many years to come, and work on some warmer days. Not going to be out there for a little while, I don't think. We'll see. Hello, and thanks for watching. I wanted to take this inaugural video to give a little introduction of myself. As we proceed to the back, the problems become even more readily apparent, unfortunately. You can see where some of the walls have collapsed already. There was an addition on the back here that had a severe lean to the rear that we took off about 3 years ago. And we have salvaged all those bricks. They are ready to be reused for the new wall veneer. We'll take a closer look here. We have the scaffolding set up to proceed with taking down the rest of the rear walls here. And this whole missing section collapsed in a storm. You can see the former outline of the west wall on the building next door, where there was a wall that also collapsed. And this is what you can sort of call the inside of the house, although it's just as much outside as it is inside. As you can see, that west wall fell off essentially at the second floor level. Kind of made it easier for us. And as everything collapsed, it just filled up the basement. So this will be quite a task to clean out. So we're up top on the scaffolding now. You can get a sense of the deterioration of the brick walls here. Water damage did everything to this house as best as we can tell. So, you know, the mortar is just old. It washed out, leaves you with no integrity, basically. You can see some of the debris and this nice tree that has popped up. As you can see, this mortar is dead. All you have to do is touch a brick and it comes apart. This is the process of taking the walls apart. About as simple as you would imagine. Now at this point you're probably wondering what this building cost me to buy. Valid question. Thankfully, $0. Completely free. That rolls into the next question, of course. What's the budget and do the numbers work? I don't know what the budget is. and I just assume the numbers don't work. And that really doesn't matter in this case, because the overarching goal is to save the building. If it's the oldest standing building in the neighborhood like we think it is, losing money, it doesn't really matter too much. That's just the cost of preservation in this case. The demolition work has mostly been already completed, and we will start getting in here to get rid of the rest of the old, start building up the new. These brick buildings, as we discussed already, are quite resilient. The problem is water really doesn't care regardless. So if the roof is not intact, it starts leaking, it starts sitting, it starts rotting. And that's exactly what happened here. Water actually got trapped between the carpet and the floor structure and rotted out almost the entire second floor and a portion of the first floor. So some of the joists have already been removed. They essentially fell out, and the rest will, on the second floor, will be entirely removed and rebuilt. The first floor is a mix. The back was pretty bad. More toward the front is in much better condition.
I said everyone just nailed a little bit.
In our last video, you saw us cut out the floor here at our floor joist replacement project, and today we are going to start putting the floor back in. We just got our lumber delivery, but as you see here, we also had a little problem over the weekend. Storm blew through last night, and well, had a little damage on the job site. Making some progress here on the framing. So you can see we have post bases drilled into the stone footings that we're able to reuse because they are quite substantial. Took a little bit of effort, needed to cut away because they sit a decent amount below the concrete. And the first stretch of new beam is up. It is not quite in the right spot yet, but it is getting there.
That's solid. tightening.
Want to stick your thing under there?
Yeah.
Just it may change this slightly. Yeah, slightly.
It does. Well, I guess we're not exactly.
Do me a favor and take this close up.
What the heck?
What?
This is expensive wood, apparently.
I mismeasured something.
I don't know what I'm doing. What? Just don't hit your hip.
Oh, hey, would you look at that?
Definitely crowned up.
Yeah. I wonder if we can fix that at all. And then hope that that's off the end. Hey! Told you. Well, we got all the joists in place now. You can see they're nicely resting on the 6 inches of flange there. Start infilling with brick back around it. That's just to hold the brick above. A couple spots we had to header around chimneys. There are 4 chimneys in here. As you can see, we have a nice new floor from front to back, except for right there, where we do need to cut in basement stairs. But we are leaving that in place until we build the second floor, because it'll be a heck of a lot easier to build the second floor stairs with a platform to work off of.
Yeah. Just hold it against the scaffolding. We'll have to brace this one some way. Brace on it. Now what? So cute. 3, 2, 1. I'm hitting scaffolding. That ain't gonna work. That time was better. Not in, but not tight.
I don't fit.
What?
I don't fit.
Here do I, my 1/8 inch.
Yeah.
Oh, that was perfect when cut it. Pre-screwing it up.
Oh, it's pretty screwed up. Let me tell you.
That's about where it should be.
Yep. 3, 2, 1.
I gotta get leaves up.
So we got the stair stringers in place. Unfortunately, did not record the cutting of the stringers. In this case, we just needed production. We haven't quite figured out the recording and working at the same time quite yet, but pretty straightforward stringers. 7 9/16 sprise, 10.5 inch tread. So should be pretty comfortable. These are the longest stringers I've ever cut, 17 steps. Done a lot of stringers, but never this long. Most of the stairs we've done have either been shorter or they have been broken up with a landing. So nice to get these out of the way, and we will get going on the treads and the decking up top as well. We have all the frame in place for that. Left the scaffolding up for the masonry because it's a nice easy work platform. So time to get going on that. So headers in this case around the chimneys are rather simple, just two 2x12s and a double hanger with two 2x12s on either side. And then it is picking up 3 joists across. So we have our hangers ready to go. I know a lot of people like to put them on after, but we already checked the dimension of our 2x12s. They are all 11 1/4, so we can set them where we want them and make it really easy to put the new joists in place. Alright, let's see if we can just push. And yeah, that was sort of a joist, but it was mostly just that. So that's fun. Finish her off. Huh? Finish her off.
Knock the house down.
That was mostly sawdust. On she goes.
Sure, it bent the pipe that time.
A little bit. We'll hold that one off for this.
That's where you're walking.
Knocked our blocks. Knocked our blocks again. Alright, where are you going with these? Let's put this one way over here off on the side.
Yeah, it's.
It's when it gets a swing to it. The wall. Right way. Now let me get rearranged.
You gotta go up higher.
I know, I gotta get rearranged.
You may not have your ladder high enough.
Yeah, I do.
Alright. That's enough. I'm in.
I'm in.
Alright, right where it's supposed to be. Quick overview of what we got here before I get down off the neighboring roof. We did 22 full replacements, that includes the doubles. So 18 actual rafter replacements. And there are 3 under the sheathing there that get sistered. And then the very front rafter also gets sistered.
That's with cooking, I believe.
What?
That's with cooking, I believe.
Oh, it's too early for this.
Start shaking.
I wouldn't try it for that.
Hey.
What? Doesn't matter. Same manufacturer, same product. Different label, different grooves. color line. That's what makes it looks different. It's upside down, upside down, upside down. All right, last piece of subfloor going in. We'll see if it fits. And it does. Perfect, like a glove. That is the last of the work up here.
Probably pretty heavy.
Yeah, not too bad.
We gotta drag it back though.
We should drag it back before it's right about there. I knew it was gonna hit the ceiling. Heading way down here, because those are saggy. Well, we're done. Good enough. Further. And we're back out here after some grading and digging the holes for the piers. They have since been inspected. Ooh, exciting views. We did pass inspection. Frost here is 30 inches, so that is how deep we need to go. These are actually about 32 inches because you typically end up over digging a little bit when you're clearing out the bottom. Definitely not hurting anything. And then this is how we cut tubes off. We just stick them on the end of the wheelbarrow, rotate it around, one person rotating, one person on the circular saw. Cuts it off pretty nice and easy. If you're looking for some minor tips to help you out. ended up sistering 8 joists. Plans called for 4, but it was a little while until work actually started, so rain coming down. Took the ends off of double that, put the new lintel in there, so bolted through, nailed through, should be good and strong for the next phase of work here. Just push it all the way out.
I'm doing. It's out. Yeah, it's there.
Now it'll be out. Okay.
Tack it.
Yeah.
If I can get the gun around.
Whatever you can do without blowing it.
There's 2. There. I don't know if I can get another one in there. There.
That'll be fine.
That'll be fine.
Come on, you. Oh, there is nothing to
There's
nail.
nothing to nail it to. That's a. You got the end to nail it to.
Duh.
Alright, I'm gonna go get the sawzall then. If I can get it.
Alright, so the 2 sistered rafters are in place. Plans call for 3 nails, 16 inches along the new boards. So, pretty simple. Just nail it off and we are good to go. Build it all back up to basically match what you see here, although the actual deck material will be composite instead of wood. Otherwise, pretty much the same. So let's get going. End of the first day, got most of the roof down. So start cleaning up our mess tomorrow and start taking down the rest. So once we got the architectural elements taken apart, the columns came down super easy because the bases were rotting away. So all we had to do was tilt them over. So at this point, we just need to cut up. And once that is cleared away, we will start digging some holes. You know, there's the saying, they don't build it like they used to. And a lot of times that's actually a good thing. Not a lot of good stuff going on here. To be fair, it sort of held itself up for quite a while. But random supports, double boards that don't go all the way across. I don't know. This whole corner is just falling apart and they covered over with new trim. We can definitely rebuild it better. Not entirely sure what was going on here. Splice there, splice there, splice there. At least some of it was over the post, sort of. But almost done taking the deck boards off already. This is not taking long. They tried. They tried really hard. I don't think they accomplished anything, but they at least tried. So the plans call for 3 number 4 pieces of rebar in each direction at the bottom third of the 8-inch thick concrete footing at the bottom. And this one pretty close to full already. This should top it off. We are back the next morning. Concrete down in the holes got hard. So now we need to put our tubes on top and get to our final height. And we got our first one cut off to the height we want, and then we'll just match as we go along. Had a little delay on the site here after we placed the concrete in. 2 days later we had about 4 to 5 inches of snow, and it has now melted off. Didn't affect the concrete because that had enough time to cure before the cold arrived. Just slowed us down working. So now we'll take the tubes off and get backfilled with this nice wet clay that's probably going to be a sticky mess. We have the piers unwrapped and some backfill going. It turned out pretty well. Nice and straight. Hopefully right where we want them. We're going to find that out soon enough.
Yep. I don't have that on the other side of the feature.
It kind of helps actually, I think. So 12 feet's a little easier than 20 feet.
I'm tight.
Yeah, I didn't mark this one, but it'll be right. We're moving along on the floor joists. About halfway complete at this point to the center column that is offset a little bit, so not quite halfway, but going in nice and easy. We got the SD screws, so paid just a touch more for the fasteners, but you definitely make it up on the time that it takes to put them in. And apparently something is not quite right with that. Last joist to go in place. Let's hope it fits. Looks good. Alright, just got to screw this off and we have our floor ready. Well, that is a wrap on the first level framing. So normally we would notch the beam into the 6x6s, but in this case, with the wider column going back over it, the architect designed it to be outside, and then once the decking goes down and the column bases go over, it lines up pretty much right where we want it. At least that's the hope. We will find out soon enough. So 2x8 framing for most of it, and then it is skirted with a 2x12. We're just following plans. I probably would have done it all 2x12s all the way around, but should be plenty strong either way. And the 2x12 will pick up both the new steps and the 1x trim and lattice that goes around the base. So we have to grade the bricks as we go. We don't want to keep the degraded, broken, heavily weathered bricks. They will not be much use to relay, but we want to keep every brick that is still in good condition because they are completely reusable and they got hundreds of years of life left in them. So no reason to waste them. A lot of embodied carbon energy stored in a brick from the production and firing. And the greenest building is, number one, the building you reuse. But if you can't do that, the building that you can build out of recycled materials is the next best bet. And kind of got a combination of that here. Whoa. Anything that is not reused brick-wise or mortar-wise, well, we're not reusing mortar, that would be tough. We'll go for clean fill where places need to fill holes. It will not be sent to the landfill to take up precious landfill space. Just about got things dug out here with the old grass drying out, so we'll be able to hopefully get that graded out a little better soon. And then just removing the last bit of grass here on the tree lawn, so looking pretty good out here. We got the full family out working today. Both my brothers here, my dad. cultivator with no weight really just doesn't get in deep, and it's a little slow, but we did get this leveled out really nicely. So with the top loosened up, the roots will be able to grow in. We are forecast to have a lot of rain in this coming week as well. We've gone from drought to too much rain, but it'll be good for the grass here as long as it doesn't pick the grass up and just wash it away. Well, the Insta-lawn is all down. Took, I don't know, 3 hours or so, and we weren't exactly working hard. So a lot of that was just waiting on that slow cultivator to get through, and then it died at the end, so we just raked out the rest. That's all right. So now just need to get it watered, and we got a little less than a total pallet left over, so all good. Got the view from topside, nice green carpet. Finally got the crown molding that we need to repair the cornice. Can take a look there. It was custom built up for me, and it took 6 weeks. Normally it takes 2 to 3. Not sure what the delay there was. Pretty simple install. Just put it right back where the previous crown mold was. Maybe a little bit awkward since we're at height, but not too bad. So we also need to replace above the bay windows there. The trim is pretty well rotten away. Getting that right now, and there are actually some bird nests up there where we need to finish the crown mold, so we may have to wait on installing that. We'll get that figured out. Well, we have our new trim pieces up above the window, and since I was doing it by myself, it was hard to record getting them up here, but they are nicely in place, look good. Just need another coat of paint and a little bit of caulk, and then this could also use some new shingles because I think these have been here for a little while. So we'll get this finished up here, and then we can get the scaffolding down for now. So time to get the stairs in place, and we have the first 2 stringers on of 7. I think I said 6 earlier. It's actually 7. So the concrete pad that we added is just a touch out of level, so we left the stringers uncut for the 1 inch worth of decking material, and then we're just going to adjust each one basically to make it work right. So on the right side here, we took the full inch off, and then after leveling across, it was just over a ½ inch on the left stringer there. So these should be kind of in between that. So we'll get the rest of these trimmed and attached, and then we can start almost using the porch and stairs. We just need to get the scaffold off. So we have all the stringers adjusted, nice and level across, and we just screwed 1 screw into this last stringer so we could take it back out to make it easy to attach to the straps. So we'll finish nailing and screwing here, and we'll be ready for deck boards. We're, I don't know, about 2/3 of the way done here. Looking pretty good. So I'd say about 3 hours in at this point. We stopped for lunch, so moving along pretty nicely. Haven't really run into any problems. A couple of the planks didn't quite want to go into the grooves, or the groove didn't quite want to take the hidden fastener, but a little bit of prying takes care of that. So we will do the, I don't know, 4 more rows, I guess that is, and then we need to do the steps. All the decking is now down and looks pretty good, I think. Obviously lacking the trim, but this is a good sized porch. I could imagine sitting out here on a swing on a nice night, or maybe watching a thunderstorm roll in. I don't know, maybe that's just me. So we'll give you a little look at what we're doing here. We're on the couple of the second floor windows, so we get the window loaded up in the lift, as well as you can see, and it's not the quickest up and down, but that's fine. So bring it up on the lift, then we basically just lift it into place, get it all square, plumb, level, screw it off. The brick mold basically meets the window buck there,
That was
a strike of lightning. So we're going to be just about done because I'm in a big metal basket. So let's get this in place. You can see the dark sky, and we'll get out of here. We'll get back to the windows and knock the rest of this side out tomorrow, and then we got the back, front, and the other side to go. So, ooh, may have caught some of the lightning right there. So it's moving in quick. We'll close things up. Well, that takes care of the 4 front windows here. They're looking good, except that unpainted sash there. That's on the owner, but they need to be caulked and the arch filled in and the second coat of paint anyway. So not like it won't get taken care of. So while we got the lift up here, we're also going to start packing that out to rebuild the cornice. But before we do that, got the side windows over there and the side windows over there to take care of, and then we are wrapped up. Okay, we're back for attempt number 2. We got the pre-screws in. I will not drop it. I should not say things like that. Definitely a lot better. It's back in. Where's my 2 foot level?
Right, 2 foot.
I love old buildings.
Yeah.
And now the one time the screw actually pulls, I love how we're always recording, but it makes it look like we have no idea what we're doing.
I know.
Ha! Joke's on them. We never have any idea what we're doing. More screws. Oh, I did it again. Forgot the middle screw. Alright, let's get the sashes in, make sure it works. Right up. That looks good. Yep. Nice function.
Nice function.
Perfect. All right. Last window in place. 38. So we have talked in the past about how we're saving some of the brick and throwing out some of the other brick. Obviously the broken brick we don't have a lot of use for, but this right here is a good demonstration of the differences. So the exterior brick, this brick, is typically harder than the interior brick. They're handmade brick. The firing on the outside of the stack was often more intense, so you would get a harder brick, and then those would get used as the face brick because of course you want harder to stand up against the weather, especially rain, wind, all that. The softer brick wasn't really meant to ever see water, so on the inner width that's fine. It generally doesn't see weather, but when you lose all the framing like this, you do lose the protection. So those have mostly degraded both between weather and age. So we dispose of those soft bricks, save all the good hard brick, and then that brick we save is what we will use for the new veneer on the new rebuild structure. Pretty typical method for us up here. If you've seen our previous videos, we just grab the bricks, take them apart one by one, clean them, and then they are just going into buckets in the lift basket, and then bring them over here, lower them down with the rope. Easy peasy, just a little slow. So, making some steady progress. Okay, well, now I filled my lift up, so gotta go down and unload, I guess. These are getting heavier as the day goes on. So we're just finishing up the painting up top. We got Rust-Oleum on the tin that covers the cornice. It's in kind of rough condition, but still serviceable. So we'll get a life extension on it with 2 coats of the Rust-Oleum. And then we have 2 coats on all of the existing cornice pieces. And then the crown mold got 2 coats on the ground before we put it up, and now 2 coats up here once it's in place. So we're just finishing up the last little bit of the painting, and then we will head down to get started on the columns.
I don't know. And then I can slide it down. Yeah, maybe.
Tough to say. do it from out here where there's no cross brace.
Right. You do it on the bottom.
Yeah, to get it high enough.
What?
You're probably right to get it high enough. It's got to set
Now
here.
you want me to go out here on this one?
No, because I think you need to get it from.
Oh, that.
Once I put it over,
There you're on it.
you got to take control.
I got it. That should be the right amount to put this piece underneath it. That'll be exactly right. Right. That'll fine. Nope.
Just enough room.
Wow.
Around the scaffold.
Wow.
3 columns are in place, although we're gonna have to work on that middle column a little bit. The 6x6 had bowed, as they do often, and it's throwing it out of plumb a little. We thought there was actually a little more wiggle room inside the column, but not at the top, just as you get lower. So we'll get that fixed up, and then once those are in line, we can start building the roof structure.
Amen.
Well, I don't care how level it actually is at the moment.
I know, but I'm looking. Get your spot right.
I can screw it in either way, and it'll just pivot.
Yeah. Come on.
So that should. It's about the same. Getting the connections made at the corners, and these span post to post just like you would expect, and then into the hangers over there. So got a few more. Well, that takes care of the mainframe part here. 2x12s bottom piece. So next up we'll figure out how to put together the rest of the trim frame, and then of course we need some rafters here. We do a lot of framing, but we are definitely not roof cutters. We do floors, walls, stairs regularly. Roofs are an odd thing that comes in occasionally. So we got the common rafters here figured out. These are all the same, although the ledger that they go against and the bottom board there still are have some subtle differences as they go. So they're all close enough. They're fine. Down there we have to go around the bay, and then at each end we have a hip. So there'll be a little more figuring out to do here. We got some compound miters, but we got the start going at least. Here's the completed view below. This is a good example of don't be intimidated by things you haven't done before or don't do that often. Like we said, we rarely cut roofs, even though we do a lot of other framing. But I knew this was a big part of the project, and I knew we could get it figured out. So it took a little while, but it's there. I don't think I had any miscuts, surprisingly, and part of that is due to, quote, cheating the system of letting it run long and then cut it off after. But there's nothing wrong with doing things like that if it gets the job done. We're gonna end up with the same thing, even if it's maybe not the most efficient way. It's still there, and it'll still look good. So I'm happy with it. And we got the official last piece to go in, and yeah, it goes right in. Nice. All right, so finish nailing this, and then it's time for tape. Here we go with an overview a little further out. So like I said, we'll get zip up at the bottom of that dormer there, or not a dormer, bay window. But otherwise, we are good to go up here. Just jump on it.
Yeah. I'm not holding it anymore.
The joists separated from the floor. It really is just the floorboards that are stuck. Well, this wasn't the neat fall collapse that I was hoping for. I want my money back.
Now what do we do?
Keep pushing and pulling. That's really about all we can do. Wow, that was lame.
Maybe downstairs pulling.
Oh well.
They got it built downstairs, don't you? I don't know if it's gonna go. Nope. Yeah. I'm not holding it anymore.
The joists separated from floor. I want my money back.
Now what do we do? Well, try smacking against the edge. Now the other edge. Yeah, there we go.
Alright, here goes nothing.
And that's what
what we wanted. Alright, here goes nothing. That's what we wanted.
They have to go to a bigger one. Whoa! What happened there?
Keep it in there, the top sliding with it. Okay. Not sliding anymore.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, this one is heavier too. They're getting heavy.
This one feels lighter. Probably the split in the ply right there.
Oh. Okay.
Good. What? So a little handy tip here, we were working on getting these beams centered over our mark on the floor and we forgot a plumb bob today. But if you have a chalk box, you have a plumb bob. They typically will center themselves just fine on your string, and they usually have the hook on there as well. So we just got a screw in there where we needed it and sent it down and shifted our beams over till they were right over our line. We of course stopped the sway, it's moving again because we got fans going, but lined us up right where we wanted to. So now the next tough task is the floor joists don't look too bad as far as level on this side. We'll probably be able to get it pretty tight, but there is quite a sag in the middle of this span over here. It is currently tight to the joists right here. So I think we'll be doing some jacking and adjusting and making that all work out. We're not trying to get an exactly perfect floor on the second floor. It's an old building. It kind of is what it is, but we will work on getting it as close as possible. So that is the finished beam, mostly. We still need some connectors. We got the post in on that side and the middle, but we need to do some subfloor repairs on that side before we can get that post in. But that is just the secondary support. The brick is holding it just fine currently. We are ready to go with this wall, except, like I mentioned, the studs at each end, because we need to get threaded rod and epoxy into the brick. That will probably happen after the sheathing. All right, with the first layer on, basically just stacking. So get them in, nail them off, wash, rinse, repeat, and then we'll find out what we end up with at the end down here. We corrected for level as we went because this floor is definitely on level, but we got that basically right as we went, so we can just stack and then wrap.
Still feels solid. There she went.
Remember what I said about hard hats?
Oh, I knew it was. I was so far enough away from it.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's what they all say. Right on. Hit it with the screw. Okay.
Still feels solid. There she went.
Remember what I said about hard hats?
Oh, I knew it was. I was so far enough away from it.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's what they all say.
Well, how do I get it out of the basement stairs?
Alright, well, let's see how well this works. Putting these up myself. Shouldn't be too difficult, they're not heavy. Oh no. I forgot something. I didn't put a 2x4.
Where?
I could always put it on after.
Put it on right now.
But it'd be easier to put it on right now. Oh well. Definitely made easier with using the SD screws. We have our stair stringers for going down to the basement, cut and prepped. So 10 steps on the stringer, 11 total, and then the plans call for letting in a pressure treated 2x4, pretty common. Then we can anchor that right down into the concrete. And then we took just a couple minutes to put some zip tape on the rest of it to protect the wood from the moisture in the concrete. Barely cost anything, just a little bit of time, but protection for the long term. So we're gonna pick these up, get our straps attached, and put these in place. Got the temporary treads on, that'll take care of things for now. These will get permanent 5/4 bull nose treads, just plain pine and presumably painted. And you come up here, step up the landing to the back door and what will be a kitchen over here. Need to infill the floor from the old steps there and infill up top as well. But then you swing around to the dining room area, living room area, kind of shared space. And then you have the steps up to the second floor here in the middle now instead of the two sides, since this is only a one family, not a two. So then you come up the steps, and it's about the same rise as the basement to the landing here. And then we worked hard to get the headroom correct here to get the 80 inches, 6 feet 8 clear. And then up a few more steps. And then there is no framing up top here yet. So when you get to the top, there will be a hall. Each side is a bedroom. And then in the middle, there is a bathroom. We have all our sister joists in on both sides, and they are supported on both sides, so basically new joists. And on this side, we were actually able to, after we put them in, get our pressure treated sill plate in place, although there's a gap there to fill. And we think on the other side, once we jack it up, we will have a similar circumstance to this where we can slide it under. It's just sagging over time has gotten everything so out of level here. That is kind of what it is. So now that all the joists are repaired, we can get some subfloor down. All right, so this is the one wall we can actually build on the floor up here in any sort of easy manner because it doesn't have any angles on it. You gotta go just a little, you gotta come your way on the floor. No, toward you. We're fine. Uh-oh. I'm hitting the plate that's already there. We're gonna have to go this way. That's a problem. Check your measurements. I built this whole thing 3 inches too tall.
Probably.
I didn't take off the 3 inches for the top and the bottom plate.
You know what?
Well, that was dumb.
We're done.
That was dumb. Alright, we'll fix it tomorrow. It's too hot today. Okay.
Pull off the
Well,
bottom.
I'll take it. Yeah, we can knock the plate off. Sure, no, we can't pull off the bottom. We gotta pull off the top. We got a door.
Oh, yeah.
Still easy enough. Just run the circular saw 3 inches back on each of them and re-nail it back in. Well, sadly, not the first time we've ever done that. Let's take it back down.
Yeah, it'll lay there.
No, let's take it back down though. And back your way.
That was on my toes.
Who did that? Alright, well that was fun. We are back to fix my little brain fart I had in the heat. I forgot to subtract for the top and bottom plate off of the full height measurement. It happens. Not the first time, won't be the last. We've had very up and down weather here lately, some absolutely delightful days. And then this week has been another heat wave. We've had temperatures as high as 102 degrees, that's about 39 degrees Celsius, with heat index around 113, that's about 45 degrees Celsius. That is hot. We don't work when it is that hot. We finish earlier than that. But when we finish, it's still hot regardless. There's no reason to work in heat like that. If you do, you're not productive. You're just hurting yourself for no reason. Take a half day off. It's fine. Things will still get done. But in the meantime, it's all right this morning again. It's going to heat up. I think we'll get a little more than a half day in today, but we'll see. Either way, we will definitely get this wall cut down to size and put back together and put in place. So not that I want to do this, but it really only takes a couple minutes to mark 3 inches and trim the ends off. So now, get the top plate back on and pick it up. Alright, second try. We'll see if that was enough. Yeah, a little bit of weight to it. I need a bigger hammer, we'll see. Yep. Who nailed the bottom of this, but that's embarrassing. It is so stinking hot up here. Don't like that. Goes better the correct way.
There it goes. And there it went.
All right. Well, that solves that problem. There we go. So we got the first piece of cement board cut correctly on the first shot. That's always nice. So now we just screw it in place with the cement board screws into the studs. And then next piece on top of that, and I think we have a short filler piece on top of that. And we have piece number 2 up. Did have to make a slight adjustment on the cut on this one, but it was really close. Kind of frustrating. I've cut cement board a lot of dumb ways, and the best and easiest and quickest way I've found is an angle grinder with a diamond blade. Goes through it like butter, and really easy to make adjustments. So now we just need this strip up there. Oh. That works. We're back out here with another project at the alley house, and unfortunately it's a redo. So when we built this, we used 20 feet long 6x6s to have continuous posts up to what will be a roof on the porch here. And as you can see, they're having some issues. A couple of them have bent quite a lot, and this one is really severe down low, and that one is really bad up high. So what we're gonna have to do is remove these, unfortunately. And besides getting a crane, I have no idea how to fight a 20-foot long piece in there again. So we're gonna have to do them in sections and splice. All right, now we got our splice joint cut here, and that's pretty simple. You just notch out half, and then the piece that's going on top will have the corresponding half notched out of it, and then it gets 6 bolts, 3 inches in at the center, and then another 3 inches. Should be good and strong, and in this case it's just gravity and uplift load for the roof, not a live load, so it doesn't really need to do a lot. It'll be nice and strong for that though. Alright, now start to come in.
Nope, not that way. Go up. Just like that. Out. In the wrong direction. Wait, let me get up. Oh, you got it. I'm gonna have to get up there. Let me get upstairs.
I think you're actually gonna have to hit down so that it seats.
Wind up.
Yeah. Just slightly. It's pretty well seated. Yeah. So close. Try.
Try to get it by. Push in. There it goes. Yeah. There we go.
Alright, well, I just did dumb. I think we buried my hammer back there, and when I say we, I'm pretty sure I should be saying I, because I put it there. And then we put this board up, so we're going to gently remove it and see if it's behind this front piece, which I believe it is. Hopefully it's not behind the side piece there. Okay, well, the good news is the hammer is right there, and there the hammer goes, and thankfully not the whole board. So I guess we'll get this back in place, and then we will continue working along to the next piece. Well, we got all the front sections of the top and bottom rail in place. Nice screw right there to hold it in. The columns are a little bit of a pain because you have to notch. We'll swing around here. You have to kind of scribe it to it, and we didn't get it quite exact because the columns are no longer quite exact, but a little caulk and paint makes a carpenter what he ain't. So we'll get those filled up. Nobody will know the difference. So Now we got to get the two sides going. Got the post there, and we got the post there to anchor. And unfortunately, do have to scribe to the column 2 more times, 1 time at each end. You can see where there's been a couple different rails on these over time where there's pieces kind of chewed out. We're going to do a little more careful job. And then just to trust but verify, bring it back over here, stick it on where it goes, put the level on it again, and we are right on plumb, so perfect. And then after that, Dave comes over and shoots the nail in. So at that point, it's just a matter of tacking it right in place, and the stairs are a little bit easier because we'll get the angle to go in up top. So pretty simple once we did the initial work there. Apparently we had 1 misshoot there. Looks like we got 3 more to go. All the railing is in place now. We'll get it painted up later. We'll get the or let the pressure treated post dry for a little bit. The rail itself is fir, so it's good to sit outside for a little while. Got our first test fit piece in there, and it lines up perfectly. Unfortunately, the first 2 tries did not. I had a weird mismeasure and came up short, and then forgot to take some off for the pocket and came up long, but at least that was an easy solution. So now we just got to replicate this. Right in the storm out.
Oh, that ladder. Oh, ladder's got some.
Ladder's gonna be in the way.
I know.
All right, we got 3 ready to go here. Oh, well, that's a problem.
Maybe try going in the other side.
Okay, let's cut that down short. This side's not as deep, but still, it's high though.
Yeah.
Weird, because those are not high, and it's on the same. I pulled it off the. I don't know. We'll trim it down. It'll be fine. It's in the right place.
Well, we trim the board that it's sitting on down a little bit, maybe.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Not the joist.
Yeah.
The board.
Alright, this one's going in.
It should, because that's what we test fit on.
Wait a minute, my ladder's in the way. Nope, my ladder is. My ladder will be.
Okay. Third one, a little bit of a stretch.
What?
This one's going to be a touch of a stretch. And it's also a light board, so that's
More
nice.
snap, yeah.
You can just reach it. Oh. Okay, that's right. All right, well, good to go except for notching.
We gotta get with the ladder under here, measure not to saw to it, chisel it.
Well, depends how far it goes. We'll see. We'll figure it out one way or another.
Yeah.
So you're gonna figure it out.
How are you gonna get back?
How do I get back? No. No.
You think you can get the
No.
beam?
How about I slide a couple of boards over?
How about? 'Cause these are far enough in that they won't tip.
Get up to the beam?
Yeah. It's a good thing we're owner operators, so we're OSHA exempt. Well, we are back at it after a long weekend off. It was planned to be a long weekend, but got a little longer than planned because I got burglarized and lost the majority of my tools. So, working through insurance right now. We'll get those replaced, thankfully. But On the good part of this weekend, my brother got married, and I was the officiant. It's my first wedding. I don't know if it'll become a career, but could be an interesting side hustle. So we had a good, fun weekend of celebrating, but now we got to get back at it. And first task today is we need to frame up a little wall in that spot to allow us to get our 2 floor joists back in place. So we just picked up some pressure treated lumber. We'll get it measured up, figure out exactly what we need, get that going, and we're also going to start cutting up the floor in the rear back here so we can get everything prepped for the dumpster coming later this week. So we're making a little bit of progress today. Got the floor coming up back there. Got masons working out back on the back wall, tuck pointing and some fixes. Then we got this little spot filled in down here. Simple, just pressure treated 2x6s. And then we leveled out side to side as close as possible. This floor is not going to end up perfect, but it'll end up pretty good when we're done. So I was looking at this floor joist and it looks pretty good down here, good condition. Then I came over here and maybe not to so much. Thought that was just going to spin around.
Didn't want to come out.
So we got all of them checked out, and we thought we were replacing maybe up to half, and honestly we got so far along and marked so many to come out that we had little gaps of maybe 2 that stay, 3 that stay, 1 that stays, and it kind of got pointless. So we made the tough decision that it's just all gonna come out. Tear it all out. I feel like Mike Holmes every time he walked into a basement on his show. Tear it all out. So that is what we will do from front to back. Getting things started in the back side here. So with these, just making a cut at each end, knocking the middle out, sort of, eventually. Yep, there we go. And then you just gotta pull each end out of the pocket there. And this one's actually not the worst on this side. Better than a lot of them have been. I think this is one that we didn't actually mark to bring out, but we were gonna just replace them all because there were like 3 total, I think, that weren't absolutely terrible. So just keep working the rows back. All right, so this is going poorer than I expected. Cleaned out the pocket here, and I'm just able to chew through the wood here. That's not exactly what you want to see. And you can also see above where the brick has shifted and debonded. So there's definitely been a little bit of sinking here, and the plaster's cracked. So maybe it's just this one. There are 4 windows. So if we have to replace all 4, that is what it is. But at this point, it does look like we're replacing this. All right, so down at this end, you can definitely see how rotten it has become with water over time. Just pushing the bar right in. So houses, you often hear houses need to breathe. And houses don't need to breathe, they need to be able to dry. Your rate of wetting cannot exceed your rate of ability to dry. And clearly the wetting exceeded the ability to dry here. So a lot of these houses, they were just blasted with so much heat that wood in the wall like this just didn't matter. It all leaked out. So you were constantly just blasting so much heat in here during the winter that it didn't matter. So once that stops, you end up with situations like this. So you've seen us do this before, wrapping tape around the end of the joist that we're going to pocket in the wall. That protects it from the moisture in the masonry. It is a reservoir cladding after all. And this is really simple to do. We just use zip tape. It's an off-label use, but works pretty darn well. And also, why not sit while I'm doing this? Work smarter, not harder. Although often we tend to do the opposite for some reason. But we wrap the ends up, and then they just slide right in. Then we just bring them over, and these 8-footers are easy because one person can easily do it into place. And they just slide into the pockets, and we're going to have substantial shimming after, but it's easier to get them all in place. Then we can level them all at once, figure out what exactly each one needs. Probably pretty similar. These are all off brick on this side, so it should be relatively the same. There we go. All right, so at this point we have to get the new lintels in to be able to proceed with putting joists up. So we're going to take apart the old, which is looking like it's not going to take much, unsurprisingly. And we have our new 4" by 6" angle iron here. It is 3/8 in thickness. That is what they had. We could have done 5/16. 1/16 of an inch really doesn't matter on price, so go with the thicker, that's great. We're going to get these painted up before we install them though, because don't want to repeat what we had before. It won't be rot, it'll be rust, but we're trying to make this better. So we're going to get them sprayed with some black Rust-Oleum, all 6 sides, or I guess there's more than 6 sides because it's an angle. But we'll get them all properly painted up, and then we'll get to work getting them installed. Yeah, so you can kind of see there where the brick is separating. So over time it sagged down, the mortar debonded. We'll take it as far as we need to. Thankfully, typically basement windows have a first floor window above them, so it's really not taking a lot from above. It can take the time. See, it just pops right out. You can basically see the same thing going on over here. So for the time that we're going to have this brick out, we're not worried about anything above falling down. We'll get it back in place quick enough. There she goes. Thing here.
Something there.
I had to smack it.
A little further. All right, that should be even.
Oh, way low.
Glad the last one was easy. The front half here, give or take, we got leveled and blocked up the middle. We can't block the beam quite yet until we get the stairs figured out. So a little bit more to do back there, but all the joists are now in place, which is awesome.
Throw it out of the way. Yeah.
All right, we got our first rafter up there. We cut and test fitted off camera because this is only the second roof we've cut this year, and we really don't do a lot of roofs, but this really couldn't be a much more simple roof, just mono slope with very little pitch. So a little bird's mouth over there to fit over the pressure treated piece. And then it's got about 4 inches of overhang out the brick. It doesn't need anything crazy, but a little bit of overhang helps. These buildings weren't built with overhangs traditionally, and when the gutter falls off, it washes the mortar out the rear walls, and they have a propensity to collapse. It's a bit of a problem. So a little bit of an overhang definitely helps with that. So we also got the ledger board lagged in place up there per the architect's drawings. So now we got our second rafter cut, and it's a bit of wash, rinse, and repeat, except for the length does slightly shrink as we go on each of them, so we'll have to measure each one and adjust as we go, about a 1/4 inch give or take, but we'll see how that goes. So we'll go ahead and lift this one into place and get it secured. Getting things mixed up here. So we got the first pier tube filled, and that is level across. So the furthest over is actually the lowest, and actually I thought that was going to be the highest. I was hoping maybe we could pull the tubes up a little bit, but there's enough friction on the sides from the backfill that that is not feasible. So we got the grade laser out here, and that little flat spot is level across. So we'll check each one. You know, doesn't matter a whole lot, but it'll make it a little more uniform when we're putting everything up top. So about 5 bags to get to that point. So just repeat that across 3 more times. Got it?
Hope you do that fall down the hill.
Get around here. Ow! It was a splinter. Big
Yeah, there's a bad spot.
Alright,
Put your hand right into it.
I reached. Yeah.
This way. Yep, that's tight. And we're gonna see if we can get this down before we leave. I don't know if that's gonna happen. We didn't bring lights, but there is a street light right here, so maybe we can get it all done tonight. That would certainly be nice. We don't get too many 55-degree days in December, or at least in the current forecast. Sometimes December is quite warm here, but so far it's been on the colder side, so we're gonna keep on working through this. It's only supposed to be maybe 40 tomorrow, so come back, see if I can get the rail going if we get this finished. Otherwise, I am going to be finishing the deck boards tomorrow because I will be working by myself. So I'm gonna get back to it. All right, we're about pushing the limits here of what we can get done today, but we got a couple more boards to secure here before we finish things up, which leaves, from the measurement I just took, 3.8 rows. So I guess we'll see exactly how that last piece ends up working out, but that is a tomorrow problem. We're gonna get this finished up, pack up, head home, and eat some dinner. I'm the brains of the operation.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have to do the work.
I probably should have done it from the bottom.
What are you, long? Yep. And you're long on that part, the bottom.
But it's okay.
It's on the bottom.
It's slightly long there, so if I trim it oh so slightly
That's what I was gonna say.
on the bottom, it's gonna fit.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute, right
Yeah,
there. That's tighter.
That may have just been a problem with the angle. Yeah, it's just barely catching. I'll trim
What? The bottom of it? I don't know if they got enough trim there.
If you trim slightly on the bottom, there's a little bit I can trim there. It's slightly uneven cut. And Alright, we'll see how try number 2 works.
Sounded pretty good.
Yeah, I just need to get it aligned. So the final piece of the puzzle up here is connecting this old 3x4, 4x4, 4x5, something, I don't know, piece of lumber that carries the roof to our new 2x12s and posts. So we're just driving ledger locks through. Makes a nice, easy connection, and they're rated for things like this. So shouldn't have any issues with wind uplift. You can see the nice strong 2x12 and the bolt connections there that we completed. So here's the view top side. Turned out pretty well, I think. So next week, assuming the weather is cooperative, the siding guys and gutters and the softening on the ceiling, they'll be out here taking care of all that. So gonna be looking really nice out here soon. We'll take a quick look from the yard. And here's the nice yard view. As you can see, a lot of work in a compact area around this window, and I couldn't even quite finish it. I wanted to set up there before I finish that little bit of tape right there, but on the whole pretty good. So the whole front part up here is ready to go, and then we got swinging around back here across the back wall. So just need to come up the side here and half the ceiling there, so we can start second coating tomorrow and finish the first. Now it'll really start moving along. Second coat's a lot quicker. Things continue to move along nicely in here, and I said this is a no pro tips video, but I can give DIY tips. So outside corners are easy, but inside corners take a little more work. And a little DIY tip is there is nothing wrong with doing one side of a corner at a time, letting it dry, doing the other side. So they make those little corner tools. Don't waste your time on that. They won't give you a very nice corner. If you need to, if you're like us and you're not great, you're good, but you're not great, just do the one side at a time if you need to. Well, here's another DIY tip for you. Got somebody new to mudding and taping? Stick them in the closet. It's got every type of joint typically. Factory to factory, corners, ceilings, sometimes butt joints, and a lot of it packed into a small space. Closets take practically as long as a room, it seems, sometimes. So you get a lot of good practice, and it's one of the less visible areas if you definitely need to get that practice in. This front part here, considering all the angles that were involved, looks to have come out pretty well. We'll see after it's sanded off for sure, but that get some paint and trim on there, and that'll be a pretty neat window space. We're getting things started up here for the fluid applied air and water barrier, and we're getting started with the Proseco joint and seam filler. You can see I just squeezed on some in the joints there. I'm working up the wall here almost to the top, so squeeze it on, and then I'm just spreading it out with a little plastic trowel like this. Nice and easy. It doesn't need to be neat, just needs to cover, so that'll fill any of the gaps. And then I'm gonna hit all of the screw holes up here as well, because we re-screwed a lot of this up and down, so we'll just get those filled. The air and water barrier doesn't really fill holes, so you need to bridge it basically. So we'll get this spread out. It really doesn't take that long to dry, but we're not going to get back to this for a couple days, so it'll have plenty of time to cure up. And then we'll get the sprayer out and we'll give this our first try, and we'll see how it goes. It'll be a new experience. We've sprayed paint before, should be pretty similar, so we'll see. And then once that's on, we can wrap tape to the zip on the other sides, and then we can get the siding started, which I'm excited for. Alright, we're starting to get the spray wrap rain screen on from Proseco. That is an interesting color. So we were originally planning to spray it, and that seems like a really easy way, but the day we have to do it, a cold front came through last night. It has gotten a nice autumnal coolness, but it's really windy today, and with as thick as it is, I don't know if that would actually be a problem for spraying crazy, but we're not going to push our luck. It's also the first time we've ever used it, so we just grabbed some rollers. We're going to roll on. We're going to see how far we get. I do need to get some more of the joint and gap filler to work up. I think I have enough to get the rest of the joints right up near the top, but with having to move screws around, change things, I've been hitting all of the screw holes, as you can see down lower. We'll continue doing that, and we also don't actually know if one 5-gallon bucket is going to be enough, so we'll see if we need to order another. This is right about what they were saying it should cover, but they do say with exterior drywall that, you know, it kind of depends, so we'll see. But so far so good. It seems to be going on pretty easy with a roller. Definitely a little bit more time consuming than spraying it, but they do also say that you should back roll it when you spray it anyway, so I think it'll work out pretty well. I'm gonna go move our outriggers and boards up and get the seams up at the top filled up, and Dave will continue rolling down here. we'll keep moving along. At this point, I think the decision to roll it on actually has gone pretty well. It's really not taking too long, a little bit longer, because even though we have the scaffolding, Dave's working off a ladder because I was working up top off the outriggers to get those joints sealed up. Definitely going to need to order some more of the seam filler, but we do look to need 2 coats. There are some small pinholes here and there, and I think that's just due to the porosity of the exterior drywall. So I'm up top now. We got the first coat finished up on the entire wall, and then the first 12 feet, so 3 panels high, already has its second coat. And it turned out to be easier to actually take the outriggers off and just use the pull on the roller from the scaffolding, give a little bit of distance and maneuverability, and didn't really take long at all, which is great. So the second coat was going on really quick because it's not just soaking in really quick. You kind of sealed up the porosity of the drywall. So gonna work back across this, hit it all with the second coat. We'll need to come along and get some of these screw holes still once I get some more of the flashing gap filler. All right, so we got a chunk of our rain screen in place, and we're working on getting our trim pieces on. And like I mentioned, they are all provided with nail fins attached, which is a good way to make it easy. We will shoot some little trim nails through this side. It ends up a little bit loose, and then we're also gonna have a caulk joint here with the brick, but it's decently tight, as you can see. So we'll use some big stretch, or maybe find the exact color that Sashco has to color match it. We'll see how that goes. But you can also see we got all of the remainder of the screw holes flashed over, and still got some more of the rain screen to put on, but this is more than enough to get us started, and it gets us high enough to get the 16-foot long trim pieces in place.
Yeah. That's what you do, walk off the end?
No, I put my butt into the cross brace and I'm past it there, so it was a little weird.
What?
Gotta get that gap right here. That's it. That's good.
We're gonna brace pencil loaded, didn't we?
I did. A long time ago. Hours ago. I was sleeping when I did it.
I'd like to stop dropping nails and bounce out on you.
I'd appreciate that too. No wonder the budget on this is looking so bad.
Yeah, nails. Bouncing nails. Uh-oh. Caught that one. Hit me in the head. I caught it.
Maybe knock some sense into you. Oh, I almost had it.
It bent too.
Right in front of you, where your hand is.
Right there. There's no pencil line going up.
What?
I see it a little bit.
It faded out
Oh.
right here.
I gotta make sure I got that. I can leave the last nail out.
Yep, as you should. Hey, your favorite car's back.
Yep.
The door opens and they make a right turn. Should have been recording that. good.
It's a nice car.
Yeah. Well, that's an escape feature. Yeah, if you ever crash into water, if your door can't stay closed, you're not trapped.
Yep. Or if the police pull you over, you can get away.
That's a nail. Section. That was a way faster method. Well, it has unexpectedly started raining on us here, but we're going to work through. It doesn't seem like it's much more than some sprinkles, but I guess we'll see. Give me the level and the marker that's on it. These are short. raining on us. Now the sun is shining. Not exactly sure what's going on. Clearing out there, so hopefully that's the last of any sprinkles today. It was just a little bit of a nuisance. So that is 14 courses. Each 7 courses up is right at 4 feet. So we are 8 feet up. And then I think we got about 22 feet total-ish. Maybe 21 on wall height. So that's more than a third, less than half, I guess. Almost 1/5. Wait, no. Almost 2/5. It's Sunday. Math is hard. So we're gonna go cut some more planks and get our next section of 4 feet into place, and that'll take us right to the bottom of that right side window. We'll take just another moment here to admire the view of the sunset before we get on to the next chunk of siding. And you can maybe just barely see it. That is my little house rebuild sad shack project, just peeking up there. Maybe one of these days we'll get back over there. Been too busy with other stuff, which is a good problem to have. Good to be busy. We're running out of sunlight, but we're also as high as we can get before we need to put trim around that window. So we're gonna pack things up and get started first thing in the morning. We just cut all the pieces for between the windows and to the north of the window. I already got this spot filled in. We're gonna get this in place, and then we're gonna move our outriggers up again, and then we gotta put some more rain screen on. So one more piece, one more roll is not going to quite cover that. I think they're 39 inches wide, but it'll be pretty close. Then we can get the rest of our end trim boards and the corner piece down there in place and see how far we get before we run out of daylight today. Alright, so back out the next day to check out how things look with the sunshine, and this sun sure would have been nice while we were working, but we got it done anyway, so hopefully you enjoyed what you saw. Maybe you picked up a tip or a trick. We'll be back out here for more siding once the wintry weather passes, but first little project of 2025 complete, I guess you could say. It's a couple days in now. So again, thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next video.